Hey, what's up guys, Bryce here, and we're back at it again for another video. And in this video we have another RPM Raceway video, and this is actually my first video after the last video where I was kind of like RPM's closing, and that is actually not true. They are still open, and I think I did post a comment in there, but we are back at it again. And this is the first race that I did. I shot this about a couple weeks ago. So we had two races, and you actually see what happens in the first race, which is pretty interesting. First off, the cart would not go for whatever reason. It turned off, and I think usually when this happens, they think that I don't know what I'm doing and that I just don't know how to press on the gas pedal, but it's just in fact that some of these carts literally are broken. And yeah, so you'll see what happens here with the first cart. Hopefully you guys do enjoy these RPM videos and these real life videos. Yeah, I'm trying to post as much as I can, but I did just start school, so it just makes it really difficult for me to work on schoolwork and also post on the channel, because the last thing I want and kind of a fear of mine is just stopping posting videos and kind of letting the channel just slowly fizzle out, even though you know, the videos have been coming out really slow compared to what I've been able to do and what I know I'm capable of in the past. But I think once I get into the flow of things, I'll be able to kind of get that process going. And you can see here, basically I would go on the gas and I'd give it full throttle, and it would kind of like go in and out of power. And you'll see me talking to him here, and I actually go out for another lap or so. And these two runs I've actually gotten my quickest laps ever at RPM. I do believe some of the carts had new tires on them, which would kind of explain it. But I've also been applying some new strategies for karting as well. I did go to New Jersey Motorsports Park about a week ago, and I did some karting there as well a week ago prior to this video. And you'll see here I'm literally full gas. At this point you can look at my right foot there, and I just have no power. It would just kind of go in and out of gas, and here there is no power at all. And he was saying how he slowed down the race because of that, but here when I get power I still don't have anything. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to ask him for a new cart. So that's what I did. Told him I had no power, and then I went to get a new cart. Or I did one more lap round, actually. And then I asked him for a new cart. So I'm thinking about doing live streams only on the weekends, potentially, and just seeing how that works. So you'll see what happens on the channel based on what I do. I do have a couple more videos that I do want to post, but again, with school, unfortunately, it just makes it really hard to post videos, and I really want to post videos, but we're gonna have to see what I can do. So here you can see we finally we're just like, yeah, like there's no power. I need a new cart. This is a new cart. I think that was 27. I kind of forgot. I didn't look at it. This is cart number 12. So cart number 12 was definitely much better than the first cart. We have full power. You can see it's just a consistent line of power. And at this point on track is actually one of my buddies and a random, so not much traffic at all, which is good. And we have a few laps of clean air. I didn't spend any time warming the tires because I already wasted a lot of time trying to get that other car up to spec. And here we go, going down to the hairpin, just a little lift off the gas. And really the key to karting really is you can't over slow the car. And here's the random up here, actually. You can't over slow the cart because the cart doesn't have that much horsepower, and it's pretty heavy, especially these rental carts. So you really have to keep the minimum speed up, which is what we were able to do, and get a good lap time. Best lap was a 21.7, and I think someone was in the 21.3s. But you really need everything to be hooked up for you, and the cart just needs to be really good. You need to have a good power unit behind you, as well as some pretty decent tires and a good driver as well. And in this case, unfortunately, the power on this cart wasn't the quickest that I've been in. I've been in carts where the motor can really give you a good half second if you really get a good cart. So going through this complex of corners here, and again, just trying to get as close as you can to the barriers. You guys know how this goes. If you haven't checked out the other RPM Raceway videos, be sure to check them out. I've done quite a few of them at this point at the same location. And you kind of see how I've evolved my driving style around this track, just because Again, I pretty much get 8 minutes at a time on this track, and that's kind of it to improve. I think this is like my 26th visit here. So I've been here quite a few times. Again, I've mentioned in so many other videos that it is just an entertainment place, and the track is not very good at all. It's just kind of a bunch of the same corners thrown together, and there's no place for passing. As we all know, and I've mentioned this in plenty of videos in the past, but pretty much like Monaco. I'm coming here for quite a while now, going down to this hairpin. Again, it's really easy on the brakes, and even every time when I look back at footage, I'm always looking at ways to improve, even if it's not possible just because of the kart that you have. There definitely is a little bit of time to be found here and there, especially without a delta. It's very difficult to even know where you're losing or gaining time. But this session in particular was my fastest lap ever at RPM, which was a 21.7. And then in the next round, I also got 21.7 as well, quite consistent throughout the lap times. Start-finish line is in a weird place. It's just in the middle of a corner. It should be on a straightaway, but it's kind of the way it is. Fast left and a right, then we're going down to the hairpin once more. A little bit of oversteer there, and we get a little distracted by the car in front, which kind of prevents us from setting that lap time. That is an excuse. And you can see he's kind of in the middle of the track, and you can see he actually gets asked to slow down, and even when he does slow down, it's still just a little bit fishy when you're passing around this track. You can see we're going to go around the outside here. I leave plenty of room, and we get squeezed off just a little bit, and then we finally make our way past. And here we have an opportunity to set up a really nice lap here. We get pretty late apex, and then on the power as soon as we can. First couple of corners once more. Just being as smooth as you can through there, carrying as much speed as you can, not bringing the minimum speed too low, and just having a good overall speed throughout the whole lap is really important. This hairpin here, I've definitely practiced in not braking hard and late, because like I said, it's really hard to bring this kart back up to speed. Little tap on the wall on the outside. Again, I'm not sure just how much time I lost because of that. Obviously, you want to get as close as you can to these walls, but I just wonder, you know, if you can actually gain time by potentially just going into them on exits, if that makes any sense. So I'm not sure, but ideally, you obviously don't want to be hitting these walls, but just getting as close as you can to them. And this was the first round, the first race that I did, and we did another race, which I'll be showing you right now. Here it is, the second race, kart 18. And this one for sure had new tires. I could definitely tell when I was kind of feeling them earlier and kind of looking at them a bit. But the problem with new tires is that you get marbles on them, which is when the tire is brand new, and if you don't treat it properly within the few couple of laps or whatever, the surface will be pretty sticky, and you can kind of get graining on there. And especially if you pick up marbles on the side of the track, you'll pretty much have little pieces of rubber on the tires, and that will make it pretty slippery, and that's why they call it marbles. So unfortunately, this kart definitely had that. So for the first couple of laps, I had a bit of understeer, and then towards the end is when the best lap came, and that's usually how it is for driving at RPM, and that's why they say you can really kind of just go slow for the first 8 laps, and then 9, 10, 11, 12, you'll be pushing for that fastest lap. But when you're on track with other people, it is very tempting to not push all the way. And it's really tempting to kind of just give it full beans for the whole thing. I'm usually pretty good for the first few laps. The first 3 laps, I'm kind of just warming the tires up, and then I just go for it, because again, I'm here to have fun. And yeah, but I've never actually kind of spent the whole session just warming my tires up and then saving the best lap for last. I'm not sure what lap time that would give me. I'm really curious to see. Maybe I might do it one day. But for now, we just spend the first couple laps just warming the tires, putting some heat into them, and then kind of going for it. And here we go. We have the green flag, but yet again, I'm just being patient, just putting heat into the tires. Pretty difficult. And you can just see how tight the track is, even in this super wide camera angle. You can kind of see that you can really only fit 2 karts side by side, especially through these really tight corners. And here we go for the fastest lap. yeah, pretty much all of these laps were in the high 21s, and then a few of them were in the 27s and 28s. I do know when the fastest lap is actually, so we can give you a little commentary on that. It's towards the middle / towards the end of the lap here. This corner is pretty tricky. It's just a really hard left and right with not much room to really maneuver. Same thing here. It's a left and then a right, and then you drift out to this wall here. And then my favorite part of the track, a really fast left and right that you have to be precise for, and then going down to the hairpin, which is a nice braking zone. But then unfortunately you're kind of in this weird section here that's they should make it a little bit straighter, so it's kind of more like a chicane, but I just think they don't want people going too fast, which is unfortunate. But gotta be precise for the left and then the right, and then I release off the gas quite early actually and go on the brakes smoothly just so I can go on power as soon as I can and sort of launch myself out of the hairpin. And we're slowly catching up to my friend here, and it was just me and him at this point on the track. I think we passed him once last time, I'm not 100% sure, but he's always good with moving over and stuff like that. We've never actually had the opportunity to race here, just because once you kind of pull up behind someone, they're already waving the blue flags at you, telling you to move over. So it's kind of difficult to have an actual race, and there's been times where I've been told to move over, of course, even though my pace was better or just as good. So you can see we're just pushing this thing as hard as we can and going through these couple of corners here. And I really do miss sim racing. I really do miss racing in general, as if you've been a follower for a little bit, I have been doing a lot more content in the past than I am now. I was involved in a few leagues and things like that, so it's just difficult to get back into that. Or I might just do a live stream series where I try to get my iRating up as soon as I can, just due to school and stuff like that. So we'll see what we can do in the upcoming weeks. It might take a little while to get us up and running again, but trying to get to 7K iRating is one of my biggest goals. So we'll see. And I have entered a aspiring driver program too. That is a competition for a $100,000 scholarship or partnership for the 2023 and 2024 racing season by PT Autosport. So if I do make it to that, you'll definitely be seeing videos about that on the channel. But that's kind of just a little low-key thing for now, unless I actually did make it that far. And you can see my friend is up here. We're catching him at a pretty decent pace. But he's also pretty quick. I think he was in the 22s, the mid 22s. And it's really just about being precise. And you can see he moves over, which is very nice of him. But it's just about being precise. Like when you kind of saw his line just a little bit there, if he just got a little bit closer to those walls and just was a little bit more confident behind the wheel. A lot of people talk about, and this is actually the fastest lap here, I believe. That was the fastest lap. But a lot of people talk about if racing speed comes from DNA or skill that can be kind of built up over time. Some people say it has to be in your DNA, and some people say that it can be built up over skill. I think you need to have some sort of DNA for that, and you can build up off of that. But I think at some point, you know, the Max Verstappen's out there, it's just in their DNA. But you definitely can improve, as I've done so. But where that limit is at could be based on your DNA, but again, there's no saying or scientific evidence that shows that you cannot go past your DNA. So I would not say that it is impossible to push harder than your DNA allows you to, which is what, of course, we're on that journey of doing, to being as fast as we possibly can be. And you can see a little oversteer there and kind of turns in a little bit too soon and hit the wall. And you can see just kind of floating away through these corners and going through this next sequence of corners here. And only a few laps to go. I think this is the last lap right here, and then that'll be the end. Yep, there you go, last lap. But we are still pushing, going into the hairpin once more. It is pretty fun here. It is fun racing here, and this has been a place that I've gone to since I was very young. So coming back here is definitely nice every time, even if it slightly breaks the bank account for going for 2 runs. But I think that is going to be it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you did watch this video through and through. I really do appreciate the support, even though I haven't exactly been around for the best that I can be, and many of you may know me for iRacing content. Try my best to put that out there, and maybe other content, because this channel has really fluctuated between a lot of different content. So we are pulling into the spot here, and there we go. Thank you guys for watching, much appreciated, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.